Welcome to the Syracuse Educational Opportunity Podcast. I'm here with Constantine Jackson, and you're going to tell us a little bit about what brought you to the EOC, some of the programs that you've done with us, and where you're at today. So I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Constantine Jackson. I was in the re-entry program, and they brought me to EOC to take the construction class. I picked construction because construction is all around the world. Everybody needs something built or finished, and construction is patience, discipline, and determination. And that's what I was taught coming up. So that's what I meant.
Wow. So you mentioned patience, determination. That's part of how you were just raised. We're gonna get back to that, but how did you hear about the EOC?
Oh, I heard it through the re-entry program. Quincy Brown. It's a program that's located on the 12th floor of the Civic Center, and it's for people who've been released from prison.
Okay, very, very interesting. Why did you choose construction out of all the different pathways that you could have pursued?
Like I said, everybody needs something built or finished, and it's all around the world. You see buildings being put up, highways, houses. Construction is like a lifetime job.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you use that term lifetime, because we're really focusing on long-term employment here. I think it's really easy to get out and get a job and, short-term kind of situation, but really establishing yourself in a career is what we like to focus on with students. So that's awesome that you're thinking that same way. So you talked a little bit about your background, right? Your involvement with the reentry program. And so my next question might be to you, what do you feel like has held you back prior to coming to the EOC from pursuing a career in construction?
Well, what's holding me back now is I had 3 jobs already, and each job that I have, they didn't have their permits correct, or their contracts ran out, and that's left me unemployed each time. But I'm not giving up, because construction is a great thing, because you constantly work with your hands, and you always focus, and like I said, you gotta have discipline, determination, dedication, and that's in itself is gonna land you to the job that you want.
Absolutely, agreed. Okay. So what's your background a little bit? You mentioned you had some barriers, right? Tell us a little bit about those barriers in your background.
Well, I did 32 years, 6 months, 19 days, 12 hours, 7 seconds in prison. And I came home dedicated to turning my life around. The barriers I have is a felony and being on parole. That's stopping me from getting a lot of things, because they look at your background,
Absolutely. And I think what's really, unique and interesting about our programs is that this I-81 Viaduct incentive is this movement where you have a lot of local stakeholders, the Syracuse EOC and many others, that are really vested in the East Adams community and beyond. And making sure that the individuals that live here in the city of Syracuse, work here in the city of Syracuse, and benefit from all of the monetary resources that will be generated from this 81 project, right? So making sure that the money stays here in this community and the community is revitalized from it. So that's amazing, and it's great that, even having, whether it may be a felony or limitations with childcare, transportation, licensing issues. This particular project is really targeting folks that have those sorts of barriers and giving them opportunities yet again to establish themselves in a new field.
Right.
So that's what's unique and great about this opportunity. Tell me a little bit about, what have you learned from program and what have you gained? What do you feel like?
I learned a lot of patience is with the construction, because the measurements, how to use a table saw, how to use the electric drill and the hammer. And basically, it's the measurements. You got to learn how to read the tape measure to get everything perfect, because you don't want things lopsided or unlevel. And if it's unlevel, you have to cut it another little piece to make it level. You got to go back and forth. You want to get it right perfect the first time, so it'll be the foundation to stand firmly for it.
Yeah. Wow, you guys really dive deep in program.
Yes.
You're saying some interesting things,
Yes.
definitely beyond my understanding. I'm from the outside looking in, but what kept you staying on track? Whether it be with program or, even during the time when you faced incarceration, what kept you motivated?
What kept me motivated in prison was faith, and I believe in God, and I knew one day that I would be released, and I was, and that's what kept me firm and focused. And my grandchildren, I got grandchildren that were growing up, and that's what I look forward to when I was coming out here. And I spend plenty of time with them, much as I can with them.
Wow. What keeps you on track now?
What keeps me on track is them.
That's awesome. Okay. Tell me about a big dream that you've always wanted to go after.
My big dream is to help others not go into incarceration, and speaking to people about incarceration. And sometimes, most of the times, it helped because of the stories that I have to tell, the things that I witnessed. It's not just on the news. It's, some things they cut and edit because they don't want you to see the truth and what's going on on the inside.
Wow. And so, you mentioned helping others to stop them from entering into the justice system. So how do you plan to approach that? What are some ideas that you have?
I want to write Kathy Hochul and send her a proposal to start a youth program to get the funding here in Syracuse. I had my mentoring certificate that I took through the reentry program. I was doing the YAP program while I was in prison. In different prison, they always have a YAP program. Sometimes they start them up, sometimes they don't. It's like a Scared Straight program, but they bring the kids in, and you talk to them about prison. They come right on the company. Some even want to go inside your cell. Some was locked in the cell and they would start crying, and they change their life around. And they, the parents thank the YAP program, and the YAP program come back and let us know, oh, this guy, he changed his life around. He's getting straight A's. He's going to school every day. Sometimes you need that little wake me up. And it helps the children. It helps the child turn his life around or her life around. Even some adults see what's going on inside, and they be like, well, I'm going tomorrow, I'm getting me a job, fill out an application, I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that anymore. And they change their lives around, because after, some of the stories that I tell, ain't nobody gonna want to go to jail.
I hear that. Okay. So if one burden could be removed from you in the next 30 days, what would that be?
Parole. Honestly, parole, because my parole officers, they are good, and they good, but just having that title on you, anybody can say, oh, he did this, or I saw him do this, and they'll call on you, but it have to be something serious, and then they'll snatch you back in. and lock you back up. You have to go through the process again. You lose everything that you accomplish out here. Your job, your home, your car, your family sometimes. Sometimes family walk away from you when you're inside.
Wow. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
So, considering where you're at now and, completing program with the Syracuse EOC, next steps, right? You've done something really positive for yourself. You're influencing your loved ones. Where do you plan to go next? You mentioned that you had secured employment, unfortunately, due to some permits.
Mm-hmm.
Your employer had to stall the project, but where's your head at for moving forward? Where would you like to apply next?
Well, I'm still applying. I applied for hospital escort or hospital transport at St. Joe's upstate. And I've spoken to Brighton Academy. I spoke there. I'm waiting to speak to the Buffalo Bills to get the paperwork through because I had received a letter back when I was incarcerated. They said once I get released, I can contact them once I get released. So I reached out to them last week, and I'm waiting on a response back. And I send them a copy of the letter so I can speak to them about prison life and everything.
So the Buffalo Bills have contacted you to work with them?
Yes, to speak to them about prison. I have the letter.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
that is amazing.
Yeah.
So construction is just one of the many things
Right.
that you're doing. You've got
Right.
your hand in a lot of different things,
Right.
and it seems like you're really trying to get this message out about stay out of the prison system, right?
Yes.
Which is a powerful, powerful message that
Yes.
impacts so many of our student population. So that's awesome. So just thinking kind of more like life after graduation, how do you plan to use the EOC and the resources that you have here moving forward?
I would recommend it to anybody who I come across to try to come to EOC and take the program. It worked for me, and I know it can work for you because I know I've been through a lot, and I never thought for one day that I'll be here in EOC, and got a job and didn't have a job and get a job and, really speaking out about the greatness of what you can accomplish doing this.
That's awesome. So my question, just to wrap up here, any last words of wisdom for the viewers?
Stay out of jail. Come to EOC. It's better than prison. EOC is better than prison. Try it. I know you're going to like it.
Excellent. I love that. That's some awesome words of wisdom. We'll go ahead and wrap there. Thank you so much, Constantine, for chatting with me today. And any further information on the construction training programs are generally posted on our website. So folks out there can just head over to the online interest form and get signed up. And with that being said, we want to send you on your way. Thank you for tuning in to the Syracuse Educational Opportunity Podcast.